Hello, this session is about triangles and everything you can do with, a lot of things you can do with triangles for early years. So if you're between the ages of 4 and 7, let's see what we can find out about triangles. My name is Caroline from Bubbly Maths, and these activities come from the Aiming High website from AIMSEC. Now, let's have a look, see what we can do. I'm going to first of all, let me see, I've got to do the sharing. It's important to do the sharing so that there are people, everyone can see the correct group. Refresh that so that lots more people can see what's happening. And let's have a look. It's nearly coming up. Come up any second now. Oh my goodness, because what I have to do is I have to, okay. I wonder if I haven't been doing that. I've just noticed something that I haven't been doing. So I wonder if that's why it hasn't been coming out in the right. Oh no, it's not in a group. No, this is, sorry, that's what I want. There we go. So we don't have to share it in the group because we're already putting it in the group. Silly Caroline. Triangles for early years. That's you. You're in the early years. And start. Pow, bang, crash, boom. And let's see, is it playing? And then I've got to play it, and that way I can see the comments. Oh, wait a minute, let's put the microphone on. That way you can hear me better. Okie dokie, now it's all about triangles. So what we can do is we need to, let me just share the screen. Share my visualizer. I like my visualizer. I like my visualizer a lot, not just a little bit. I like it a lot a bit. Now, we're going to make any triangle at all. So we're going to start here. And we're going to make a triangle, just any triangle, just random. They must have straight lines. The triangle must have straight lines. And I don't want any of the lines to be the same length. So let's just make sure. So grown-ups or somebody older will have to help you make sure that's 15. That's, 16, that's different. 16 is more than 15, and that's 18. None of them are the same, so none of the angles are the same. And that's what we want. We want a triangle. Let me see if I can raise this up a little bit so you can see more of what I'm doing. There you go. Right. Now, I'm going to cut this out very carefully. Nice straight lines. And what we're going to do, and this is what you can do at home, and you can do it in a group. And in fact, this is quite useful for any age. You can do it with an older learner and they might learn something. I tell you what, I learned something because I did this with my grandson last night, and I learned something new as a result of something he said. So all we're going to do is fold this over, and you can cut out all different shapes and sizes triangles, okay, to find out. So what we want to do is fold it over to make another triangle. That's it. So now we're going to cut out that triangle. Have we made another triangle? Let's see, cut that one away. So we've made another triangle. There you go. And what have we got left? It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So we've got a different color here. We can put a bit of contrast on it. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Now, this has, we can only give this one name. It's a shape with 4 sides or 4 edges, and we can call it a quadrilateral. Quadra means quad 4, lateral means edges or sides. So it's a quadrilateral. It's a shape with 4 sides. It's not a square. It's not a rectangle, and that's what it is. Now you could then you could make another triangle with this. Make a triangle there, or you could make a triangle. No, now the challenge is to fold it in such a way that you make another triangle which you can cut out and then see what you have left. So keep cutting triangles off there to see what you have left. That's thing number 1. Now, when Leo got this, he counted it. He's only little. He counted 1, 2, 3, 4 edges, and he said, Grandma, that's a square. So now I've been working out how to make a square by doing sort of the same thing, but not quite. So Grandma said, well, what does a square have? A square has right angles. Well, the great thing about pieces of paper is they have a right angle. So what we're doing is we're going to make a shape that has one right angle and has 2 edges the same length. So the thing about squares is all their edges have the same length. So we're going to join those 2 lengths, those 2 dots together. So we have it's got a posh name. It's called an isosceles triangle. And now we're going to cut that off. Where did I put my scissors? Here they are. I'm going to cut that off. You can make this triangle as big or as small as you want it. What's important is you use the corner of a piece of paper. You can use the whole piece of paper almost. You can take a piece of paper and use the whole thing. Let's see. And go all the way to there. Measure that. If you wanted to make a really big one, that's 21 centimeters. And mark 21 centimeters there. Have a grown-up or older person help you do it, and then join those 2 and make an even bigger triangle. But 2 of the edges have to be the same, and 1 angle has to be a right angle. So now, how are we going to do it? What we can do is we can fold into the right angle, fold that, and we're cutting it in half. So folding at putting that angle, that corner, and putting it onto, we're going to call it an angle, onto the 90 degrees. And with this one, take it and put it onto the 90 degree spot right there. Now, Grandma hasn't, Leo's grandma, that's me, Caroline, hasn't done this super accurately. It is quite hard. That's my excuse. Don't really need excuses. It's not super accurate, but you know what? It'll do. So this is a square. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 4 edges. This has 4 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, all the edges are the same length, and we can test it by folding it. We can cut those other triangles back out. And we can have a look at those triangles as well. So those triangles, just like this big triangle had a 90 degrees of a square edge, and this edge and this edge are the same length. If we cut these out, you will see that they are, first of all, the same size. That edge and that edge are the same length. You can test that by folding it over and checking, like so. This is where making a bigger one is helpful for little hands. You can see they're the same length. And not just that, but if you put them together like that, maybe make some glue, you can make all kinds of designs where you've got squares, and by putting them together, you make another square, and you can even put that over there just to see, is it the same size? So you can play lots of things with that. And you can see that that is a square, and that is called a quadrilateral. It's an irregular quadrilateral. It's got, whereas this is a regular quadrilateral, every edge is the same length. But that's maybe if you're 6 or 7, you can go there. If you're only little, then you're just playing to see, is that the same as that? Is that the same as that? And if you put those 2 on there, does it make the same shape? And can you, and just cut these out all different colors and make a poster or something. Right, now then I thought, well, what's the difference between a square and a rectangle? So I thought, well, if we maybe measure this and make this length twice this length, so that's 10 and that's 5, and then draw it in between, what will happen if we do the same thing? Okay, so we're going to cut this out. Plop, 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 plop. Now we're going to fold into the corner there, the angle that's a right angle, the corner of the paper, the one that's this shape, same shape as the corner of the paper or the corner of a room. It's called a right angle. We fold that in and look, we get a rectangle. Now a rectangle is kind of like a square, only, in fact, if I'd made one of the edges twice this length, we'd have even had a rectangle that's twice the size of a square. So that would be an even nicer thing to do than I just did. But it's a rectangle. A rectangle has got the same angle as the corner of a room, the same angle as the corner of a piece of paper. And by folding them in, we make a rectangle. That's with that side, that edge, half the length of that edge. Now, what if, again, you could cut those out, paste them onto here, see if they're the same, if they make the same shape, play with it, just play and investigate. Now, finally, what if we just make any old angle here? Then what happens? So I'm just going to draw any old line there. We've still got a right angle there. Oh, and there's another one as well. I thought of another one as well. So we're going to see what happens if we've got, I need to double check that I haven't coincidentally made one twice the length of the other, because we know what happens with twice the length. We have 6 centimeters and, ooh, not much different, 13. So anyway, so let's fold it in and see what we get. You can be a bit more accurate than me. I'm not very, oh, no, we need to do one that's a little bit, it's more different because we can barely see that. We need things to be very obvious when we're working with early years, and that one wasn't obvious. Right, now for sure, that isn't half of that. It was too close. It was too close to half. So let's make it a lot shorter. Now, what happens when we fold that over? Let's have a look. I'm going to fold that over there. Fold this over here. What shape are we going to get? Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, da. Oh dear, it's not folding very well. It's too small for my little fingers. Oh, okay. Well, this actually looks like a rectangle, but not quite. So, maybe you can make bigger shapes. And in fact, let's just do that. Let's just do that now. Make an even bigger shape and see, is it always going to be a rectangle? The problem is my shape is not very accurate. So let's see with an even, that isn't half of that, is it? It's like my brain just wants to make things. It is. Let's go even further out, way further out. Let's go all the way to here. Make a bigger shape. There we go. Let's see what happens now. Let's see what happens now. It's all about investigating anyway. And then we've got one more, after we've got one more to do, and then you can see what other shapes you can make by folding out triangles. Let's see what shapes you can make. So now move these all these out of the way. Whew, what a lovely mess I'm making. Lots to tidy up afterwards. There's one there, and now there's one there. And what's happening? What is happening? That is interesting. It doesn't have to be twice the length. That's what I wanted to show. Doesn't have to be twice the length. It can be more accurate than that. Fold it out. Still makes a rectangle. Look at that. Well, how about that? Interesting. So there's one more shape we're going to make. We're going to have a nice big triangle, because I now am very satisfied that it really does have to be a nice big triangle. We want to, quite big triangle. We want to make sure that none of the edges are the same, that none of the edges are a right angle. Maybe like that. And that way we're pretty sure that none of the edges are the same. Cut this one off. Whoopsie. And then we're going to do the same thing. Dooby 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 doo dooby 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 doo. Now that's actually quite close to being a rectangle, but it's not. Let's hope it works. There we go. I'm going to fold those over, but it's not a right angle because it's not the same has a corner of a room. Let's have a look. This is over here. So that, see that? It's bigger than the corner of a room, or bigger than that piece of paper there. Hold on. Bring this over here. Is that a nice sharp edge there? Yes, this one. I'm going to do it on this one. So that's like a corner of a room. You can see that goes further out. So that wouldn't fit inside the corner of a room. You can even put it against the corner of a room to see if it is or isn't, and it isn't. So this is the shape that's left over. How many edges does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we still made 2 triangles, but the shape that's left over has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edges. So that's the investigation. I'll stop the screen share so I can actually talk to you and not be an itty bitty little head in the corner of the screen. So thank you for joining us. And if you do like these lives, please share them, tell other people about them, get your grown-ups to share them on Facebook, maybe talk about them in on your Facebook profile. And also, if you like YouTube, or you know someone that watches YouTube that doesn't watch Facebook, then they're on the YouTube channels, the Making Maths Fun for Kids of All Ages, and no, that's wrong, the Bubbly Maths channel, and Maths Toys has also videos. Now, Maths Toys has videos that go specifically with each activity that's on the Aiming High website. So let's have a look, see if anybody's joined us on Facebook. Okay, no comments on there. Let's see if there's any comments. Ooh, looks like maybe the watch party. Oh, the watch party did work. Good. John, Frosty, hello. Russell, hello. Reese, Weller, thank you. Layla, Edward, hi. Lucy Omar, hi. And Bobo Tunang, thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you. Well, we're playing tonight, we're playing games. Tomorrow we're playing games. Yeah, we've got lots of, we've played this before, and we're still developing it to make it even better, because what we're doing is everything we're working on for the next few days is being translated into Spanish, which means we wanted to run them again to improve them, and also to improve them and to prepare more for the translation, to get them as good as they can, to refresh what we've done. And so they'll be watched by children in South America and Spain, and where else do they speak Spanish? Mostly those places. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you this evening or tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.